Join us on the Swim Monkey.
Swim Monkey TV. On the Monkey.
Off the blocks into a 2-day practice. Butterfly kicks and the hardest sport there is. Racing starts and don't breathe off the wall if you want to make it to Olympic team at all. Flip, turn, streamline, Florida swimming. Under the flags and dry land training. Long course season and Caleb Dressel. Short course season, Elizabeth Beisel. Tune in now to the Swimmer Joe Show.
All right, so listen, we've got a crazy show today. This is amazing, Sid. We've got a open mic
night. Open mic. We're going to open it up. We're going to hear from some great young and old, new and grizzled, like veterans of the sport and new thought coaches from all around the country. Joe, I'm so excited.
So here's what we're going to do. All right. And actually, let's just bring in our panel first. Okay. You want to bring in our panel and then we can talk about all this show stuff.
Absolutely.
Okay. So let's go ahead and bring in Mark Hesse. Mark Hesse's been a coach for a great number of years. He's also USA Swimming. He's a very seasoned person himself, Sid, right there. So he's
huh? Is that shorthand for old?
He is the all-knowing. He needs one of those hats, All right, and then also
the Wizard, yeah.
Also, yes, the Wizard. And then also we go down in South Florida to the west side. Where Ponce de Leon came in, and we'll bring in the T2 Aquatics head coach, Eric Nelson. Let's go ahead and bring him in.
Guys, gentlemen, how are we doing tonight?
Another brilliant mind. Okay, so listen. Listen, we got 2 out of 4 brilliant minds here. Eric, Mark, Sid, and I, we are not the brilliants. We're just sitting here.
Learning. We're learning.
Okay. So what we're doing tonight is our open mic night. What we do is we give coaches an opportunity to come on with us and ask a question, something that's bugging them, something that's going on, issues, problems, great things, whatever that's going on around them. Okay. So we bring them on and we have a timed clock for 5 minutes. So Sid, we've got to limit you. Okay.
Oh, it's a short one tonight, Joe. We got a lot of voices to be heard.
We got to limit everybody, okay? And so we're going to go around 5 minutes, but we're going to bring coaches in from all over the country. We're going to ask them questions. We're going to cuss and discuss. We are going to get to the bottom of everything, but it's going to be very quick, and it's going to go by fast. So you guys ready to have some fun?
I'm ready.
All right. By the way, if you want to join, and if you want to join us, there is a link that is going to show up on your screen. It's probably already been up there. I haven't been looking. There is the link. You put that in. You will arrive into our green room. Our producer will see you and will put you in line to ask the questions. Okay. We know that we have a bunch of people in there right now. So get in line. Let's ask some questions and have fun. If you want to just comment on the chat, no problem. All you have to do is tap my face. And you will be in the proper chat. Okay? Nice. Tap my face, your hand, your fist, whatever. Okay? So here we go. I've got a question. Get you guys ready? Here we go. This is from Jim Skirble, Racer S Aquatics in Pennsylvania. We know them. They've got some fast teams. They've got the really cool caps with the big X on it. Okay, his first question.
Racer X. Yeah, I love those caps. They're classic.
I want the car. Okay, the car that was in. Anyway, listen.
Speed Racer,
Speed Racer, go Speed Racer.
His first question is, why can't USA Swimming help get more meets sanctioned? And you know what? We have a USA Swimming guy right here. So let's go.
Retired. Yeah, well,
ex-USA.
Take it away, Mark.
So I guess I'm not really understanding Jim's question. It's really up to the LSCs at this point as to whether or not they're sanctioning it, and obviously up to health regulations in your state. I mean, the main reason we're having trouble getting meets sanctioned and meets being able to be held is the dang pandemic. So we got to get that straightened out first. I think, Jim, if you're having issues getting a meet sanctioned or finding somebody who wants to host a meet, reaching out to, I guess it would be the Eastern Zone person, which is Brendan Hansen, at USA Swimming and asking him for some help. But I think it's up to coaches within an LSC and the LSC itself now to really cooperate to make facilities available and figure out ways to host those meets. I know there's a webinar next week about how to get meets done and run some virtual meets. So
is anybody doing meets with other teams involved, or is everybody in Florida or around doing just inter squads? If they're able to do that.
So yeah, I mean, the inter squads are fun and all, but these kids want to race.
Yeah.
Okay, they want to sanction time and they want to race. I see it every day, and they come to me every day, and they're like, "Damn it, I want to race." Okay, yeah. This, and I know we have to be we have to be separated in things, but they want to race. We need to figure out a way that we can do sanction, go for cuts, do whatever, and get it done. So that is my beef with this whole thing right here. And I probably Jim's too, because he's like me. He just wants to get it going.
I'm going to throw in 30 seconds, Joe. Mark,
okay.
The pandemic is, of course, the root of it. And Jim, we feel the frustration. I think if you're talking about national level meets, we do need to talk. We got to get to some of that. AAU meets that are going. My kids go to the AC. Oh, man, look what happened in Raleigh this weekend. So I'm with you, Jim. Back at you, Joe. What's next? Joe, you're not there anymore? Okay.
No, I'm here. All right. So I'm going to bring in Jimmy Parmenter because I know he wants to chomp at the bit at this thing right here.
He's always got a good opinion. There he is.
Jimmy, go at Jimmy. Tell us. All right, here's what I want. I want to hear your take on this, Jimmy, and then I want your question, my friend.
No, I mean, for meets right now, I mean, the national level kids, of course, they need swim meets. But age group meet, for your age group level and above or below, we need less officials. We need to be doing, like inter squad meets, like some what are they called? I can't even call it. Trying to think what it's called.
You mean like fun meets, quick meets,
inter squad,
style.
Inter squads, but like dual meets against, like Swimming League has their format. Just
it's blinking, Joe. The light's blinking, Jimmy. You're cut off. Sorry. You're done with this topic. We're beating it till it's a dead horse anyway.
Jimmy, give us your question. What is your beef? Go ahead and give us yours.
No, it's the same thing as getting swim meets going for age group swimmers, not just national swimmers, but that top level. But we got to get our younger kids competing. How do we do that?
How do we get our younger kids competing? We are struggling with. I know Charlie, and now Charlie's on here. We should bring him up because we're trying to figure out how to get our younger kids to compete more. We know that our seniors, it's easy to do because they're pretty good at it. Look how skinny Charlie is, by the way. He's very skinny. But
you're funny.
Wait, can I go back to my question? I want to know how Charlie got so skinny.
Yeah,
and that's with the camera adding 10 pounds, Charlie.
I know I'm up 15 pounds, guys. You don't have to play this game with me. That's fine.
Hey, but that frame, you can add another 30 and no one would know. All right, listen,
you keep getting further back, Charlie, so you look skinnier and skinnier.
Charlie, how are we going to get our young kids? How are we getting our young kids to have meets, man?
Well, right now, I think the only option is going to be something inter squad. I don't think you're going to be able to control little kids, and parents are going to have to be on deck. And in Florida, we can't do that right now. So it's going to have to be something inter squad. Almost think of it like a summer league style meet, perhaps. Where you divide your team up into different groups if you have enough kids. That's about the only thing I can think of.
Well, all right. So listen, guys, I know that we're struggling with that, and I don't know the real answer. But I'm going to tell you what I'm going to do.
I've got some thoughts on the younger kids, right? I think one of our things that we struggle with is thinking about how do we get those kids to swim 5 events, right? We don't need to get them to swim 5 events. A couple of events in an hour and 15 minutes. Do your 11 and 12s, and depending on the size of your team. In one group, I know there are teams that assign the kids a number, and they had a dot on the deck. They needed to stand there until it was their turn to race. But I think again, looking at giving them a couple opportunities to race in a short period of time and then getting the next group in. We've got to get out of the mindset of the traditional invitational meet and the mindset that conditions have to be perfect for these kids. For most of these kids, they just want a chance to get up and race and compare to what their old time is. They don't really care about comparing to what anybody else in the nation's doing. So keep it all internal.
Eric, you got 45 seconds.
Go on it, Eric.
He's on mute.
I'll have to agree with Mark real quick.
Go ahead, Eric.
Well, it's an LSC issue, and to answer the question from the gentleman, it's not a USA Swimming or Mark Hesse problem, and the working within the LSC, because we're not going to really do any meets across LSC lines to have something that's meaningful and like you said, these are great ideas to making it happen. We're going to have to sacrifice some stuff, warm-up time. We're going to have to sacrifice the number of events and maybe even the whole program, Can't do every event, but I think you guys are right. They want to get back and do something. And they want it sanctioned. They want these times to count more so than I realized.
They do want these times to count. All right, Sid, I know you're chomping on the bit. We ran out of time with that one, okay?
I know, Joe. I'm not talking about that one. When we move on to the next question, all I want to say is we're doing it with integrity, brother. That's what we want to do. What do you got, Joe? What's next?
Hey, listen, we've got a lot of coaches waiting to get in and waiting to do it.
Let's bring them. Roll them.
It's so full. It's crazy. Jimmy, I'm going to pull you out. You stay in the green room. I'm going to pull Brent in. All right?
Brent Mitchell.
All right, Brent, talk to us. Brent out of Texas. He's over there running a gargantuan team of 8 million. Okay, so Brent, what is your question and issue? And let's talk.
You're mute.
He's mute, Beth.
My apologies.
There we go.
I think the biggest issue is what we're talking about. Yes, it's meets, but I think it comes back to the motivation towards the kids. How to keep the kids motivated during COVID. And knowing that, when are we going to get the meets? When are we going to get not just the training aspect? I think that's something that really needs to be asked of what's the best way to motivate these kids if there aren't meets? How do we keep these kids looking forward? And what's the best style to do that?
All right, let's go ahead and start with Sid. What do you got?
Okay. I've got a creative one for you, Brent. Open water. A lot of us have been training open water. We are talking now. I'm working with Jesse Vasallo on a specific event that we're going to have locally. You can get parents on the beach outdoors or at a lake outdoors to all separate and keep their 10 and under kids separate. And you can create a small, and it's fun, and you can have it be a team building thing. So there's my 30 seconds, Joe. Bring open water into, get yourselves, every LSC should be sanctioning open water this summer.
All right, Mark, what you got?
I think open water racing is a great idea, Sid, because a lot of kids have nothing to compare it to, right? So they're going to automatically do a best time or have a great swim or at least have a new experience. For me, motivation's internal. It's all about inspiring our kids. So finding different challenges to give them in practice. And when you do run an inter-squad meet, giving them a challenge of how you want them to swim a race, start looking more at just the time, looking at how they're building that race up, how they're strategizing it. So give them little challenges that they can accomplish. And they'll get motivated to meet the challenges that a coach lays out for them. Our job is to inspire them, not motivate them.
I like that. Sid, we're going to come, so make sure we get the information about your open water.
All right, Brent, I'm gonna kick you out for the moment. I'm gonna kick you off. Come back in about 10 minutes. We're at the. It's overflowing. I'm seeing this thing that pops up every 5 seconds. So I'm going to kick you out and come back in a little bit. All right, let's go ahead and bring Frank in, St. Augustine. Frank, what is your beef? Everybody's on mute.
Okay, thank you, sir. I think my biggest beef right now is the kids are fine. I mean, we're working really, really hard to try to do a lot of different things and do kind of a hybrid coaching method with our kids at both of our sites and trying to mix things up and giving them the most quality time together with also practicing the social distancing. But the biggest problem is I'm having is trying to convince parents that we're doing the right thing for these kids, that too much too soon may not be the right thing to do at this point. We need to just go ahead and keep staying positive and moving forward. But that's my biggest beef is the kids are great. We just got trying to convince the parents that, you know, this is what we're doing and this is what we have to do in order to move forward.
Sid, what do you got?
I would tell you this, that there are definitely ways that you can educate your parents. It might be a little painful, Frank, but it does require communication and effort on our part as coaches, and to continually meet with them. Now with this Zoom stuff, or, you know, you can do everything online. It's to your advantage to make them understand your point of view and then back it up, because USA Swimming's got plenty of articles you can dial in and send to them in a newsletter. Here's a link to 2 or 3 every week if you want, but that's mine. What say ye, Mark?
Yeah, it is communication, and it's been communication from the beginning of this crisis with the shutdown, and getting the parents on the same page with you philosophically is such an important part of really building a great team culture. And it really depends on the age of the athlete you're talking about, but for our 12 and unders, and really for our 14 and unders, right? They've got 5-6 years before their times even really make that much of a difference, right? And so this is a blip on it. And everybody, even though we see kids throwing down times and getting over publicized for throwing down times, it's a long-term process, right? And we got to get the parents looking at that big picture rather than immediate, you know, what are we doing today? Great question, Frank. I mean, it's always a challenge to communicate with the parents, and just as much as you can, I think just keep at it.
Eric, what do you got, my friend?
Well, I think that you know, people will, like you say, communicate. If it's left unsaid, you never know where they're going to go. You know, when you communicate and over communicate, then you got a much better chance of them falling in line. I got to be honest with you. I've been really impressed with the swimmers. You know, I'm old, so my viewpoint is, you know, pretty long, and they're pretty young, and they're missing out on a significant portion of their lives, and they keep coming back, and they know they don't have any meets of consequence, and they keep coming back. You know, at T2 Aquatics, we're going to throw together like a sanctioned inter squad, and the sanctioned part of it was really important to them. If it wasn't going to count, you know, if there wasn't, you know, then they weren't. I was worried about, you know, having to inspire them to give it their best shot and stuff like that. And they're way ahead of me.
All right, so listen, at coaches that are trying to join us, our green room is full, so keep trying as we go through these questions and get these questions through. They're going to roll off, so there's going to be spaces to come back on. We're full at the moment. Sid, it's crazy. All right, so it's full at the moment.
What Tony Ackerson has to say. So.
Hey, Tony's over there. Tony's skinny too. So
yeah.
Listen, Frank, I'm gonna pull you off real quick, and then we got to get to
Frank.
Tony.
Appreciate you being here, man.
All right, Tony, give us your beef or issue, and I know that you have a bunch. Okay, you have a bunch, so go ahead. Start with your best one, and we'll see if it's good enough.
To start with swimming.
Another one.
My best beef. I agree with Eric 100%. Though Eric is old. So I do agree with Eric.
Thanks for that, Tony.
My big beef, and it's a high school beef, is really.
I knew it.
And I mean, I just don't believe. And the officials, by the way, I want to start off by saying the officials are the greatest people on earth. They give selflessly to the sport. You don't have a sport if you don't have officials. And so it takes, we go to these meets and we're there all weekend and, in and out of hospitality. Those officials are out there in terrible weather and rain and sleet and all that stuff. But my beef is not with the officials, but it's the way they're trained. And I don't think relays are adequately trained on those exchanges when people become officials. And that's a huge thing for me because, most of us are high school coaches as well. You get to the state meet, 3 events out of 11 are relays. Relays are double points. And when officials are not adequately trained and have not been experienced in working with the RJPs, it's a big, big deal. I mean, it's a huge deal. And you're talking about not just one call. You're talking about a call that can affect college scholarships. It can affect All-America consideration. It can affect state championships, the meet, it's the whole deal. So it's been something that's just been bothering me for years. And I bet you every one of you guys has been watching relay takeoffs, seen a DQ and gone, that's not a DQ. So,
all right. So listen, Tony, that's a good point. I feel your pain because I know all about this and I know what happened last year. And listen, if there is no one better prepared than Tony Ackerson on relay takeoffs, he has the equipment to time it, and he does it probably daily. Okay, there is no one better than him. Period. Okay.
Okay, Joe. So are we going to take relays around the horn or not? Because
we're doing relays around the horn. We're doing relays around the horn, and that's 30 seconds. So you can go ahead with your 30. I've
had relays DQ, Tony, at the district level that were like but nothing worse than you talking about officials at the state championship level not being trained. How about they don't even see a missed flip turn 5 meters from the wall? Just saying, that happened at our state.
That was going to come up.
That's all I got. Let's hear if anybody else wants to talk about the relays. I love them. You're right on it, though, Tony.
Thank you.
Maybe my kids were really slow on relay starts, but we never had a DQ that I didn't think was legit. And even the athletes would come back and admit it. It doesn't make it any easier to stomach. And certainly we've all seen false starts that weren't called, as well as good starts that we think should be called. I think the key is, right, we got to get the best officials on deck at these meets. High school is notorious for being, the same people every year, right? And there needs to be a better way to assess those officials and get the best people at the meet that have the best interests of the athletes in mind instead of wanting to be the show themselves. It doesn't happen often, but I think it does happen sometimes.
Yeah. Hey, Sid, can I say something real quick? So, can you guys hear me?
Gotcha.
The issue at the state, again, dual meets and all, it just doesn't matter a whole lot to me. You get to the state meet, though, and you think that you have those relay judging platforms. You think you have the RJPs as a backup, but that's your fail-safe. And that's the way we train. And we get down there, the problem is they're not in coordination with what Colorado recommends. So Colorado Timing recommends, they say their pads or their system is accurate from a minus 0.75 to plus 0.75. They give you a 1.5 second range in there. At the state meet, you go down there, and in the coaches meeting every year, it's if they're only going to be judging them accurate if they're within minus 0.9 to plus 0.9. And so you can have good relay starts, which are, 0.10 to 0.20. Those are solid, quick starts. They're not scary, close starts. 2 officials see it, and you're at a 0.10 on that pad. It doesn't matter. 2 officials can DQ you, no matter what the pad says. And I've been back and forth with Colorado. They swear up and down those DQs are being made in those ranges should not be made. So that's my big beef, is that
it's the rule book issue. That's a rule book issue.
Okay, listen.
It all comes down to rule book.
We are out of time there, but listen, Tony, thanks for your question. I will tell you, I'll end this with the officials. I was at a flags, okay, at the iDrive pool, and we had guys getting first, second, third, all the way across the board, right? And I complained about one DQ. And what happened? I broke the Florida swimming and Florida Gold Coast record for DQs that weekend. Okay. Every time I saw the official walking towards me with a yellow slip, I was like, that's mine. Thank you very much. And so I broke the record. I think I had 11 or 12 DQs and 2 or 3 were winners. So anyway, crazy. All right. We're going to go on the next question. Thanks, Tony.
Thank you.
Hey, we lost Karen Keenan. I mean,
No,
we do have Merle, so that's good. We're starting to get some youth and some beauty into the show, Joe. Right. I know Karen had a question. She'd been waiting for a while. But go ahead.
Speaking of beauty, we got Ferris right there in the middle. Okay, he's just all right. So Ferris, what is your question?
What's going on, guys? I'm really curious on the long term of the sport. Like, where do we see the next big drops in time? Like, and I use the proxy of the 50 free. Right, Dressel was 17.6 and. You know, a lot of people think he'll be dropping the 20-point long course, but like, when's the next big move going to happen? Are we going to have to wait 10 or 15 years to see a 16? Like, when will we see and what will it take to go that 16 as a proxy? Curious. What do you guys think?
I think we should start with a speedster, Eric. He looks like a svelte speedster. So go ahead, Eric.
Good Lord, 16. I'm still digesting a 17 point, and you look at them amongst all these alpha males, the strongest, most athletic people you've ever seen, and he's killing them. He's killing them underwater. He's killing them on top of the water. God, I don't know. You know, the suits have gone back, and obviously we're kind of new in the sport at underwater. We've only been doing it for like 30 years or so. I think that people are going to continue to get a lot faster there. I don't know. A 16 to be completely mind-boggling, and the 3,900 freestyles and the 129 200 freestyles are still blowing my mind.
Frank, you've had some speedsters. What's your thought on that?
I don't know. I think the big thing is the standards. Okay, seems like every time we up the standards across the board in the age group, the kids are just step up to the plate and get up and get it done. And I just think as long as we continue to motivate the kids and also think a little bit more about, maybe specializing some things in sprinting, and the big thing, like during this time, it's been really good as we've all been sharing with each other. And so we've been able to learn a lot from other coaches and doing other things. And I think that's really good. I think that will help us talking to each other about things, get our kids faster. And being positive about it, for the most part. So my feeling is, as long as we keep raising the bar, the kids are going to step up to the plate and do it. So,
all right, we got about a minute left. Sid and Mark, go ahead, Sid.
No question in my mind, Joe. We're going to hit 16, but it's going to be the year 2035. Dressel's record. 2035. Yeah, that's when we'll break it.
We'll break 17 and we'll break Dressel's record.
Oh, no. I'm saying Dressel, somebody will still go in 17s for the next 15 years, but we won't see a 16, but we will in 2035. Put this one in the vault, Joe.
Coach Danny's got the answer to the 50 free, right? We need a great athlete with a little bigger frame than Caleb, right? I'm more worried about the other events, right? Where's our 57 breaststroker? Right, long course meters. Where's our 341 400 meter freestyle guy out there? If and when I get back on the deck, that's what I'm chasing. I'm not chasing those 50 times. I'm going to have my kids chasing those events that are softer, that we haven't seen improvements in a while. That's where we should be looking for those big improvements to come.
That's true. All right. Awesome. Ferris, thank you very much for your question, and keep doing your great things. All right. What do we got? Guess who we have? We have 2 young ladies. Karen's been on for the longest, and we'll get to Merle after that. Karen, how do you do this? And by the way, ladies should be first, so I screwed up. I'm sorry. Karen, go ahead. Continue. Question, Karen.
Hi, Karen.
It's good. Hey, shout out to Mark. Hey, Sid. So shout out to Mark and I want to, again, Mark's been great. He came on for us a couple of times during all the COVID stuff and talked to our team, and it was a great break from just doing regular Zoom meetings. So I just wanted to say thanks, Mark. So my question is, what do you think about whether we're going to be able to have U.S. Winter Juniors or any kind of high caliber meet towards the end of the year, and what would it look like?
Joe, Karen, just stop. We're going to have to get a better.
I think I did say, are we going to be able to have Winter Juniors? I don't know what you said after Winter Juniors, but let's talk about Winter Juniors for a second. And look, I just saw Mark take a big breath. We're going to go ahead and start with Mark because Mark's got the inside track. Okay. So Mark, Winter Juniors, what's going on with that?
Man, to me, it goes back to the pandemic, right? Where are we going to be in December? And what type of gatherings are going to be allowed? I think that's the big key. And right now we're scheduled to have those meets right on college campuses who may have already sent their kids home, right? Are they going to want to bring in 300, 400, 500, 800 athletes into their campus, into their facilities? I think that's the big question we need to answer. And you know, we're a little bit at the mercy of facilities when we start talking about those big national level meets. So I don't have a good crystal ball on this. I don't have looking at what we see the different colleges doing around the country right now. It doesn't give me a good feeling for that Winter Junior meet. Fortunately, we're still, you know, a good 5 months, 4.5, 5 months away from that. So a lot can change. I mean, hell, 6 weeks ago, we thought we were in the clear and everything was moving forward, right? And look how far back we've gone. So I think that's the real question is what are the facilities going to be willing for us to have, or can we find some outdoor venues that are going to be suitable in December?
So,
I've been at some Santa Claus meets in South Florida where it was pretty damn cold down there. So
yeah,
I don't know.
Plantation.
All right, so listen, Eric, go ahead. I know that everyone has kids here training for junior type things. So give us your 20 seconds here, Eric, on that.
John doesn't see Jesus. John, you're gonna have to clarify that. Gosh, the way things are now, it doesn't look very great, does it? I don't want to go ahead and say something that's going to happen 5 months from now. Won't happen. But you know, things certainly COVID-wise have to really improve for us to get together, whether it's on a college campus or whether it's on, you know, at any venue. And there's not a lot of places to have it in December outdoors. But hey, I'm willing to try. You know, hurry up with that Hall of Fame pool, and we could have it down there. T2 is willing to host junior nationals. I'll tell you that much.
That would be sweet. That would be awesome. All right, listen,
you guys would like it here in Naples. Come on.
Sid, I know we got about 30 seconds left with this
one. The truth on that, Mark's right. And the contracts will depend on what kind of out clause they have. If they're in phase 3 in Georgia by then, who knows? I mean, they can't get out of the contract. They're going to have us. So it kind of depends if they can come in and say it's an emergency or not. I think we'll have them. I'm positive minded, Joe. I'm believing in it. I've already planned Atlanta. I love it.
Yeah.
Me too. I love it. All right, Karen, thanks for your question. We will see you. Thanks for joining us. All right. Listen, it must be ladies' night because we have Merle. Merle, what do we got? What's your question?
Actually, I want to say that me, as you guys are worried about how the swimmer future going to look like, and as a person who runs a swimming business and actually is still a swimmer, it has been little crumbles here and there. And I don't know if you guys know that I decided to do another world record on 20th of August. So I have a month to go. I'm planning to swim 20K with my mermaid fin to raise kind of awareness that our sport is beautiful. Ocean is beautiful. and that we need to keep raising popularity of our sport, because as looking at Estonia right now, the drowning rates have gone up, and it's kind of also related to COVID. And as well, I see the coaches who are worried that how they can provide swimming business if businesses are struggling. That it's crazy, and at the same time we're trying to figure out how to run the businesses, how to run get people into swimming. And I feel this show is amazing for that. And I really don't have a question, just to be around you guys to know what is next, because our sport needs a popular.
I have a question for you then, Merle. I have a question. Oh, but Joe, I see you raising.
No, I was going to say, can we do a cheers for Merle just real quick, and then we'll get back to around the horn here.
Well, we have to do it. We missed the half-hour toast, so here it is. Cheers. Okay. Here's your 20K, and let's face it, you in a mermaid kicking for 20K is going to be a hell of a workout. But I think it's unusual enough. How can we help? Where is it going to be? And we'll help push that out, baby. We're believing in you.
Hey, 20K. Go ahead, Mark.
No, I'm saying live stream it.
Yes. So I'm really pushing the media. I'm gonna have a talk with NBC soon, because I'm really trying to push keeping the eye on swimming sport, because it's really important for us to not lose funding. We see that happen with colleges. We see that happening on the national levels. I see that happen with my business. And that's why I'm trying to have the live TV. Hopefully I get even helicopter to watch me, because it's going to take me 6 to 7 hours, I think. I did 10K, and 10K time was 2 hours and 54 minutes. So
oh my God.
Double it. Yeah, you'll be 6 to 7. But you can do it. You just got to keep going. You just keep going. I mean, I've seen you do some incredible swims. That Portugal swim, a lot of people would not have finished, and you did. So, hey, we just want to get a little Swim Monkey logo either on your cat, or maybe on right on the boat net. So we'll be there. Swim Monkey's going to push for this.
So, if you need a partner, Charlie Rose has experience in the mermaid costume.
He does. Charlie Rose.
He's your man, Merle.
Yeah, he did the swim around Key West, and he went through so much pain. You know, tennis elbow. He had black and blue on both elbows all the way around. But anyway, I see that we got to go. Merle, thanks for your comments, and good luck, and we will see you around. All right, guys, coaches that are watching, there's a lot of you guys on. We do have a few spots open in the green room, so come join us in the green room. I think that we'll put up the link again so you guys can join us.
Hey, Joe. Yes. Joe, can I make a comment on something Merle said? About the safety and the drownings and kids learning to swim. I tell you what, Robert Strauss, he's a guy you guys need to have on one of these weeks down from the Miami area with Swim Gym. Huge advocate for water safety worldwide. And one of the things that he's been really pushing is parents spending time in the pool with their young kids and just playing. Not worrying about the swim lesson component of it, but parents just taking their kids down and playing in the pool, parents being engaged instead of being down there in the lounge chair on their phone, right? So it goes back to another way of educating parents, asking parents to be engaged. If you take them to the ocean, if you take them to a lake, if you take them to your condo pool or the neighborhood pool, be engaged with them. Experience it with them. Those kids that don't know how to swim, they're going to learn through that play opportunity.
Absolutely. And we do that on Seahorse Tales, and we've had them at the ocean. We've had pictures of them. Kara Cassidy runs Florida Swim School, and she runs a virtual swimming program, Mark. I got to get you guys this, where it's for classrooms that don't have water, how you can teach water safety. It's an incredible online thing that she had developed before COVID and got it out in February. But I'll make sure you guys have access to that too. But good point. She's always pushing that aquatic safety.
All right, so we're going to go around. I got a couple of questions from our buddy Kurt Winance. There he is right there. There's a couple of them here from Kurt. he's talking about, and this is probably a pretty detailed subject. And some of you coaches that are watching, please chime in, come join us. Talking about Miami-Dade, which is basically Miami, leaving the FHSAA. Okay, now, if you don't know what FHSAA is, it's the Athletics Association for Florida High School Sports, and they want to leave. Now, I don't know anything about it. Maybe Kurt can either come on with us or just type in what the heck they're talking about.
I know what he's talking about.
Okay, well, what do we got?
This seems big. It's the first I've heard of it.
I mean,
it's huge.
There's so many mixed feelings in South Florida. And some people, Joe, are looking through eyes fearfully, and some people are looking through them, with different sets of passion. But the reality is, there's a lot of places where kids are swimming in that Miami-Dade area. Now, if the FHSAA goes ahead with the Florida State Championships, which it looks like that's their intent, whether South Florida participates or not, which I think they should do, because they've done it before. When a hurricane ran through the Panhandle, they left those guys out. There's Jen Gosline. Yeah, I sat through that meeting too, Jen, and there's so much confrontation. Right now, there's a Palm Beach County school board meeting I was watching, right? I'm sure it's still going to be 5-hour meeting tonight. I believe Kurt has a feeling that they can separate and start their own. That's one bit. And then another one that people are talking is push it back again to the spring. I think pushing it to the spring is going to be pretty difficult if the majority of the state can swim and the FHSAA has already passed all this. Hey, we're starting Monday. We're starting Monday for fall sports are allowed to start if you're locally able to do that. So I get his frustration, but I also believe that, we have to do everything we can within our power to give the kids that are perfectly healthy and able to swim. And I feel the frustration. So I don't want to go on too long. I'm already over my 2.5, 3.
So Eric,
can I jump in there?
I'd love for you to.
Collier County has pushed the start date back a week, and I think Orange County's done the same thing. Am I right, Joe?
Yes, actually 11, 12 days, something like that.
I feel like more districts are going to, take the lead, follow that lead. Let's just say, and say let's we've learned how to social distance and to run swimming and run our sport. But the high school programs haven't, and particularly South Florida, where you got more cases and you got fewer pools, you got more people and fewer pools, and it's going to be really, really difficult for them. I wonder if more counties are going to say, hey, wait, we're not ready to start just yet. That's going to put some pressure on the FHSAA.
So, Mark, do you know a lot about this, or do you just want to?
I think I'm going to leave it to you Florida guys to discuss, but it goes back to the topic. Yeah, we've learned how to social distance practice, but we haven't figured out meets yet completely. And I think that's going to be an important component of this. And to me, unfortunately, I've had some family members and some close friends have some challenging experiences with COVID. I know, Joe, I shared that with you yesterday. We got to follow the science on this, and we've got to make sure we're doing everything with health and safety in my mind first, athletics second. And if we can figure out a way to do those meets and make sure everybody's healthy, then I say go for it. But again, I'm not that familiar with the Florida specific situation.
All right, well, let's talk to Frank. He's familiar. He's been around there a bunch. Frank, tell us about, what do you think? Do you think that whatever county St. Augustine is, what is that? St. John's? What is that?
St. John's, yes.
Okay, so St. John's, they want to pull out, right? No, I'm just kidding. I have no idea.
So right now what's going on with St. John's is they just announced today, they had an athletic directors meeting, and they've postponed the start of high school practice until August 10th because they've moved the calendar to start school on the 24th. So they're going in that direction. Flagler County has postponed their fall athletics as well. Both of those counties have superintendents that are actually very driven by athletics. Kathy Middlestat was my principal at St. Augustine High School, and she was a grad assistant basketball coach at University of North Carolina. And Tim Forson was a football coach, and his son is actually our soccer coach at our high school at St. Augustine. But a lot of it is these schools just need to have time to get things going. I mean, it's just the waivers that are going to need to be done for the COVID, and also preparing for the schools. And in some instances, swimming is in a better shape to do that, but some of these other sports are going to have a difficult time getting things going. I mean, we're lucky to be at a facility where they can go ahead and take our temperatures and we can social distance and do the things we need to do in order to move forward. But some of these other sports are going to have a harder time.
And Joe, I misspoke. It's Collier County's going August 24th. John King and Jen Lauer, I made a mistake. They're not starting any high school practices till August 24th in Collier County. The home of
guess what? That gives you more time to train the club kids. No, all right. So listen, thanks for that. Thanks for that, Kurt Winance, and I love Kurt. I've known him for a long time. He got me swimming down there, master swimming after we swam in college. So long time there. All right. So Jimmy Parmenter says, "Bring on Kurt." Yeah, I agree. He should get out here. I mean,
yeah, get him on.
I mean, come on, Kurt. I know you're listening. All right. So listen, coaches are on there. We do have a few spots open. If you want to come and give us a question, ask the panel here. Anything that you want to talk about at all, it is here for you. Bess will put up the link so you guys can see it again, but we'd love to have it. All right, Mark, tell us about what's going on. Give me some of your beef. I know you have something, Mark, for me.
I guess I don't have a beef. I think I was on, gosh, what was it, 3 months ago when this first started? I was on the show, and I urged patience, and I think patience is still the watchword for us. And I think so many of us, it may be parents, it may be athletes, but I think it's coaches too. We've got to learn to be patient. And we should be thinking about how can we navigate the fall with a better product than what we have been offering, right? How can we make meets better? How can we make them shorter, more family friendly? How can we make our practice time more effective if we're going to have limited amount of time? How can we leverage what we've learned about the virtual learning process to continue to do dryland work virtually, or do technique work virtually, rather than putting kids in a room with a TV? It's a great opportunity to do some video and watch some video, do some stroke analysis, that type of thing. I think those are all areas where we can get better as coaches, instead of thinking about, well, we got to get back to doing things the way we were doing them. Keep the good things, but let's
forever change
new stuff.
All right, so listen, we got about 10 or 11 minutes left, and we've got a new coach in here. We got Bobby Guntoro here, and listen,
Bobby G.
I hear that congratulations are in order for you, bud. What's going on? What the heck is going on?
Nice job.
Thank you. Can you hear me okay?
Of course.
All right, good. Well, I can't really say it yet on public, but it's finally official this afternoon. They called me at 5 o'clock, but everything's going to pop tomorrow morning. So everybody will know tomorrow morning, but I'm really excited. It's a really great move for our family. 14 years ago, this university gave me the opportunity for me to pursue my American dream. And I was at Bowl School for 2.5 years. I feel really fortunate for them giving me the opportunity, and now it's time for me to give back to the university and help them in any way I can.
All right, so that's awesome. I'm so excited for you. And listen,
I'm proud of you, Bobby. Proud of you. I'm gonna miss you. We're gonna miss you in Raleigh now. Right focus ain't so bad. It ain't so bad.
If you need an assistant coach, I'm right here. I'm sitting right here. I'm
Come
like,
on, I need it. Come on now. Come on out.
All right, listen. All right, we got Kurt Wynantz on, but listen. All right, Bobby, listen. What do you have a beef, or do you have any questions that we can take around the horn here real quick?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's obviously this situation is really interesting, right? For everyone. What are your thoughts for rising seniors that are looking at school, for university, for next year? For me, I think it's, some of them, I think the social media thing, like they want to be posted where they're going and everything was fine. But at the same time, I'm all about, you got to find the right fit. You got to find your home. You got to take your time. So I feel like they kind of get stuck in the middle where they think they should be committing. But when I committed, it was a spring of my senior year back then, right? It was March of my senior year. And then I got 2 more months of school. Then I go to school after that, right? So what do you guys think?
Sid, go ahead.
Okay, well, it's completely different now, with the pressure of the media and everybody. This is social media I'm talking about. And everybody's got to sign earlier than the next one. And the later you sign, well, that's the crummier swimmer you are. That's just hogwash. Bothers me. I wish we had time. I wish you could commit later, Bobby. And I think the rising seniors, here's what we did, just for when we found out our pool was going down March 13th and we weren't allowed in the 14th, we scrambled, threw together a time trial, told the kids, hey, shave if you want, but put your suits on. And we videoed it and we sent it to a number of colleges who actually accepted, because 4 or 5 of the kids hit some of their best times and they actually got it together. So I know it's not an official time in swims, but I think the programs, if I know in our relationship, I could say, hey, Bobby, this guy, he's a really good guy. You won him at UNCW. And here's a video. You would say, okay, I trust this coach. That's one thing, but it's not easy. How about Joe?
So we'll get to you and Mark and Eric in a second, but Charlie, what about your rising seniors? I know you have a bunch of kids. What about yours, and what are they saying, and what are you telling them?
Well, I think their times are going to be pretty similar, whether they get into a meet right now or not. They're not going to change a whole lot. I had a girl today email me and say, I've got a series of emails. Is it okay to send it out during the COVID? I said, it's probably the best time to send it out. So we're kind of, just keep going as normal. Contact these coaches, keep writing them. And although your times are not necessarily new, I think they're still the same times that the coaches are recruiting you off of. And everybody in this country is in the same boat.
Here,
Mark?
here. I think that's great advice, Charlie. And Bobby, Coach, congratulations.
Thank you.
As much as your times, I think that the coach is looking for, what kind of person are you, and what you do during this time, says a lot about you. The character you have, and the way you've handled this downtime. Have you given up? Have you persevered? And I think that's an important part of this process. And a good coach like Bobby's going to recognize that.
Mark, Frank, anything?
I think one of the keys is for all the club coaches out there, be advocates for your athletes, right? Pick up the phone, call the college coaches, support your athletes, let the college coaches know what the potential is of your swimmer. And again, I go back to preaching patience. It's so hard in this. We want the news now. We want the signing up on, I saw somebody was committed for the class of 2025 somewhere. I'm like, what the hell? If you're committing for 4 years,
we're signing 8th graders now?
Years from now, you don't even know what you're going to like tomorrow, never mind 5 years from now. And I think, Bobby, some of that pressure is coming from the college coaches, especially the more attractive programs that are pushing kids to sign earlier. So the more college coaches can do to help preach, a little stress relief towards those athletes that are feeling this pressure. But again, I go back to club coaches. now's the time that you can step in and be huge advocates for your athletes, because coaches can't visit them. They can't go visit the schools. At least it's not like it was back in the 70s and 80s where you couldn't do a virtual visit, that type of thing, right? Anyway, that's my 2 cents.
Awesome. All right, listen, and Bobby, again, congratulations. I think it's awesome. We do need to move on, and let's talk to Kurt here. Listen, Kurt, let's FLST with Jack, right? Horse. All right. Also, state champion, 100 freestyle. All right.
Coach Kurt. And UM guy.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, a little bit. We can hear you a little bit. All right, give us some of your beef, and I know you got a few of them. Give us your best.
Well, I think what's going on down here is just today a statement and a tweet was sent out by Alberto Carvalho, who is the Dade County Public School Superintendent, talking about the decision that the FHSAA made to start fall sports, but the fact that there are several counties, Miami-Dade, Broward, maybe even Palm Beach included, are possibly going to be starting online schools, which is going to keep the kids from being able to compete. They won't be allowed to use the facilities. They're not going to be able to congregate. They're not going to be able to train. So it puts our kids at a disadvantage. So, I mean, I wouldn't want to be on the board of the FHSAA making these decisions. But with regard to what I had asked before about the FHSAA and Dade County talking about breaking away, it's more geared toward football because there's a lot of money involved. But if Dade breaks away from FHSAA, Broward and Palm Beach quite possibly could follow them. And if that happens, they would be in control of their own destiny, so to speak, away from the FHSAA. Revenue would be taken away from the FHSAA. And I don't know the answers. I just know I got a rising senior as a son. He's going off times he did when he was 16. He's been, he missed a meet in March that was canceled. He was shaved and tapered for, and it's just really frustrating to watch what's happening.
This sounds like a.
They're only doing an hour and 15 minutes, 5 days a week right now, and it's just really frustrating, the whole situation. So.
All right, sounds like a Florida Civil War getting ready to start. But listen, I will tell you that our kids that are doing virtual school in the fall, Kurt, they can compete, and they are the entire semester. They can sit at home and go to school, and they can compete. Now, again, FHSA, we don't know what's going to happen in 2 weeks from now because this thing is volatile as hell, right? They could change their mind.
There's a meeting tomorrow night.
Yeah, there's another meeting, so there's going to be something else going on, right? It's gonna be crazy. Greg Burgess wants us to keep going, but anyway, all right. What do you think about that, Sid? Let's all do about 15, 20 seconds here because we're running out of time.
I feel for Kurt. I feel for Angela's kid. I feel for all the seniors. And if we break away, I know it would be football driven, but regardless, I think that the patience idea, I'm trying to tell the kids, if you're a senior, it's real hard to preach that. My belief is that we got to be stronger on the other side, Kurt. We'll find a way through it. I know your son. If you need me to talk to a college coach, call me up, man. I'll tell him what he can do.
All right, Mark, what do you got, bud? We got 15 or 20?
Yeah, I'm gonna pass my time on to everybody else because it's more of a Florida.
All right, Eric and Frank, and then we'll hit Charlie at the end, and then if we don't have a question in the chat, we will shut her down. This was a great way to do it this time around. Maybe we'll do this once a month.
Yeah.
Or every fifth show or something. All right. Anyways, let's go ahead and start with Eric.
We're not in the same situation across the state of Florida, and but I think our leadership needs to stand up and make. Our best options are going to be really tough decisions to swallow. We're in unprecedented times, and and that's all I have to say about that. But I would like to say I'm really sad that Mark Hesse's leaving USA Swimming. I think it's a much worse organization without him, and appreciate all you've done, and certainly glad we might see you on the pool deck, but going to miss you out in Colorado Springs.
Well,
thank you, Eric.
I do know that Tim's watching because you got a good crew on, and I'm sure he's talking about Mark because he doesn't care about us five. Okay, he cares about Mark, but he doesn't care about us five. I'm just kidding, Tim. I know you care about us all. All right, so let's go ahead, Frank, and then we'll hit Charlie for the end.
My big thing is, as far as his son goes, he just needs to make sure he advocates for himself. That's a big skill that these kids need to do in order to help themselves move forward. And that part of it is really, really important, the advocation part, in order to get your name out there and also let coaches know about you. The situation in South Florida is it's horrendous to me. I kind of feel like, they're in a tough spot, and hopefully they'll make a good choice, whatever they decide to do in order to benefit their athletes in all sports in their county, and also do it in a safe manner. So, my prayers are out to you guys big time. Okay.
All right, Charlie, you are get this. Charlie is the final words here. Charlie Rose is the final. Go ahead, Charlie. Look at that. Look at that grin right there.
All right. First off, I'm muted. I cannot wait to see you guys on the deck, Mark. I look forward to that, and I can't wait to get back to normal stuff here in the next 6 months, whatever it's going to be. As far as the Florida swimming high school stuff goes and sports, I think indecision is the worst decision that FHSAA can make. But having said that, I thought about what do the kids look for? All they want to do is compete. They want the ability to compete. And I think if the coaches can get together down in South Florida and have a chance for those kids to race and put together something themselves. Right now there's 8 state champions, I believe, in football. Who cares if there's 16 state champions? I mean, at this point this year, let the kids race, get them together, find a way to make it work, even if it's not with the FHSAA, and have a competition. That's what the kids want. So I think we still have a month here to try and figure out stuff. Seminole County is August 31st as a start date for sports. We've got a little bit of time here. Everybody hopefully will take care of themselves and the kids take care of yourselves and let's get these numbers dropping, and then we can start working on some stuff and make it happen. But I do feel for those kids and those kids, those senior kids. My daughter's a senior herself, so I understand not having a senior year is a scary thing, but make it happen. That's my advice, is make it happen.
I agree 100%. All right, listen, I want to thank all you guys. And if you would stay on for 1 minute after we close the show, that would be awesome. I do want to say that ECU, East Carolina, and there's a lot of college teams dropping. ECU has raised over $700K to save their program. And, it's wow. Really, well done. It's really upsetting to me that colleges are dropping the swim program because of maybe some other issue in the program, football or whatever, firing people, then they're paying them $5, $10, $20 million. It's ridiculous. But that's for a whole nother show, Sid. I want to thank you guys for going around the horn with us. It's never enough time, but we will probably do this every 4th or 5th show just to get you guys going. Coaches, thanks for joining us. And listen, stick with Swim Monkey TV. We've got a lot of shows going on. And you know what? We've got one tomorrow. Yes, sir.
Can I leak one out about Sunday evening? Because I know we have 2 shows on Sunday, and of course the replays are always there on Swim Monkey.
When you say leak, what do you mean leak? What are you leaking?
Well,
okay, forget it. Go ahead. I'm just a joke.
On Seahorse Tales with Keenan Cassidy, she has the linebacker who was on Quinn's relay as a 10 and under in Atlantic City named Austin Johnson, who has now just been traded from the Titans to the Giants. And he was All-American at Penn State, but he got his start swimming at the Atlantic City Aquatic Club. I saw the question about, and we can bring that up with Austin about, the social justice, socioeconomic. He's going to be a great spokesperson for our sport who goes on, cross-trains, and makes it to the NFL.
That's awesome. So that is Sunday at 6 o'clock. Eastern. So join that. And then we also have the age group show right after that at 8 o'clock, which is all over the country. So it's awesome. Guys, thanks again. And we will see you next time on Coach's Happy Hour.
Thanks, everybody.
Join us on the Swim Monkey.
Swim
Monkey
TV. On the Monkey.